Hi, I'm going to do a short lecture on testing for proportion. And I know this might sound like we're doing the same thing over and over, but there's a lot of depth in doing this. And each time you look at it, I'm hoping you pick up something a little bit different than the time before. So I'm going through two problems completely. And your assignment today would be to copy my workup exactly onto your notebook or on the form that I'm giving you, which is this typed form, hypothesis testing steps. So you can just print out the template and write my notes on top of it. And that's it. So here it goes. My first claim is the same claim that I had before, that 40% of all stats students wake up before 8 o'clock. Test this claim at 0.05 significance level. And let's say I draw a sample to test this claim of 25 students, so n is equal to 25, and it gives me sample proportion of 0.35, meaning that 35% of the 25 students actually woke up before 8 a.m. So let's go to the template now and start filling it out. First is the claim and the complement. Claim is that P is equal to 40%, 0.40. The complement of that is P is not equal to 0.40. Okay, step 2 is define the null hypothesis, which is H sub 0, and the alternate hypothesis, or H1. So my null hypothesis is always equal to. So P is equal to 0.40. In this case, it's equal to what my claim was. So I'm going to make a little note here that it's a claim, same as the claim. Because later when I reject or not reject the null hypothesis, it'll tell me whether that is the same as rejecting the claim. Okay, and then the null alternate hypothesis then gets what's not in the null, which is P is not equal to 0.40. Okay, so moving on, step 3. The next step is kind of busy here, but basically we're sketching the area to reject the null hypothesis, meaning our null hypothesis is that P is equal to 40%. And we're going to assume that that is at the center of the normal distribution. In other words, that's going to be the mean. So at 0.05 significance level, which is 95% confidence level, we're assuming that if my sample proportion lands somewhere in between, in this area, in the middle 95%, we're going to not reject, or I'm sorry, we will believe that it's close to 40%. But if my sample gives me a percent that is not in this middle, meaning in this shaded area, which we're going to call a rejection area, then we're going to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so this is something a little new. Now we're using a new language, rejection area. That will be basically this shaded area, and that is determined by the z-score, or the critical value at 0.05 significance level. Okay. All right. So we'll reject the null if my sample proportion, p hat, is too small or too large, meaning it's outside the middle 95%. If it's in these rejection shaded area. Okay. So next we go to, well, I'm going to pick it up in the next video.